Girl, this is why you keep on tripping on that jump rope.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions. They blocking your vision, but no, you can't listen. That shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you f***ing fight back?
Hi everybody, welcome back to Mayumi TV. If you are new here, my name is Mayumi, and just like you, I'm in the journey towards getting it together. So if you're interested in videos about self-improvement, plus size videos included, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell right beside it so you're updated every time there's a new upload like this one. Today's video will be extremely helpful for everyone who's getting overwhelmed by all this information that you need to know to get started with your jump rope journey. Or perhaps you just keep on tripping on your rope. So if that's something that you're interested in, just keep on watching. In today's video, you are gonna learn everything there is to know about getting started in your jump rope journey, including the tools that you would need, the types of jump ropes that are available in the market, what to look for in your shoes, how to get into the rhythm, the proper breathing, and most importantly, the proper body form so that you will not trip over your rope and so that you can avoid any injuries that are associated with jump rope. Just as a disclaimer, I am no health or fitness expert. I am overweight as a matter of fact, but I have successfully incorporated jump rope in my weight loss and fat loss journey. So if I could do it, you could too. Alright, before we get started with the tools, I would like to remind you that jump rope is perfect because you can do it anywhere without any fuss. It's not supposed to be complicated. Keep that in mind. The only reason why I'm diving into all of these tools and gears and equipments that I have, because I already have them in my research and it's part of my lifestyle anyway. And I like to have a pleasurable jumping experience. So let us start with what I wear. For my fit, I usually prefer something tight, so preferably I wear high-waisted, high-compression leggings and a really tight sports bra. Because I'm a plus-size woman, I have different parts of my body that jiggles away, and aside from not wanting to look like a marshmallow bouncing up and down, it's really uncomfortable when I have really loose clothes, especially for my babies. All of y'all girls are asking what brand of sports bras I use. I use old sports bras from Reebok and it's really tight. I have learned that when I do cardio, racer back sports bras are those that provide the best support for us big-chested women. Another reason why I don't personally prefer wearing loose clothes is because you don't want to have anything that will trip over your rope. So that means accessories, your hair must be tied in a pony. When I had longer hair, I had to have it in a bun because it gets caught up in the rope whenever I'm doing tricks. So if you could braid your hair, that would be perfect as well. I think this angle would be perfect so that we're against the wind. Let's do it that way. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, I love the different angles that I'm serving you in this video. When I started to train for jump rope, I experimented jumping on the playgrounds here in Singapore because it has a thick rubber flooring. But to my surprise, it was too thick to the point wherein my foot was aching way much more. So from that experience, I've learned to jump on the pavement instead. But ideally, if you could have a fitness mat that is not too thin nor too thick, that is non-slippery, then that will be the best. Fitness mats provide non-slippery flooring for you. It provides cushion for your knees, and it also protects your jump rope if it is something expensive or if you're treating it like a baby. But do not use yoga mats because not all yoga mats are anti-slippery. Make sure that you not jump on wet floor. If you have to jump indoors, make sure that you're not jumping on anything that could slip, like a carpet for instance. Wooden planks would be perfect because it has good amount absorption for the impact that you would have on your knees. I I don't typically sweat much, but I sweat buckets when I'm jumping rope. So it's important to have a tumbler to keep yourself hydrated, and a towelette too. Okay, there are no rules. You can do whatever you want, measure your workout whatever way you want. Some jumpers measure it by the number of jumps that they do. That's why you can watch a lot of YouTubers doing 1,000 skips a day per se. Or some jumpers like I do measure my workout by intervals of the time. Because some days I jump slower and some days I'm on fire. So I usually do 30 seconds or 1 minute to 2 minutes jump and rests in between. And for that, you need a timer. When I started my jump rope challenge, I had an Android phone and there was a free interval timer that was extremely helpful because it beeps when I'm supposed to jump and it beeps when I'm supposed to rest or when the workout is done. Now I have an iPhone and I'm having difficulty finding the free app itself for an iOS device, but thankfully I have a fitness watch. This is a Garmin that I use for running, and I realized that it has interval trainings. So I just set it according to the time that I'm supposed to be jumping or resting, and it vibrates whenever my workout is done. So that is extremely helpful. If you don't have it, you can just manually count how many jumps that you're doing. A lot of the smartwatches would count your jumps for you as well, or if you don't have it, you can just manually measure or time your jumps as well. Jump rope, as I dare say, is all about your body rhythm. Your hand and foot coordination must be in sync, and it helps for you to count in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some days our rhythm is different from other days. Some days we are a lot more energetic and some days our body is a lot more lethargic. But what is helpful for sure is having music on. And for that, I need my wireless earphones. These are just something that's affordable. And what I love about these earphones is that it's noise cancelling and it has the perfect size for my ears so that I'm not afraid for it to drop off, because the last thing that you want is for you to step over your very expensive AirPods. So I like them secure, and I don't want the world to bother me because I really have to listen to the beat and to the vibe of the song for me to be able to concentrate on my workout. Now, one thing that I wish these enthusiasts would have told me from day one is that if you're tripping on your rope, it means that your music is too slow or your music is too fast. So you have to find the right balance of music that will get you into that vibe, okay? Again, if you're already in that vibe, you have your perfect fit, you have your earphones on, you have your jump rope, and all you have to do is to jump, only to find out that after 3 jumps, you trip over. It could mean that you are listening to something that's too slow for your body rhythm for that day or too fast for your body rhythm that day. So that's something that you have to take notice of. How do I do this? Oh my God. I'm finding different angles, okay? Don't. Shall we do it that way? Let's try. Let's try. Okay, we are now down to what is arguably the top 2 most important gears and equipments that you would need to get your jump rope journey started. Number 2, shoes. This is something that is really overwhelming because there's so many information with all of these influencers trying to promote different brands, but I will just let you know what are the key things that you have to look for so that you are guided in buying your new shoes for your jump rope. But let me just say, I personally do not like purchasing anything for a new hobby that I'm not even sure if I'm going to be interested after a week or 2. So I highly endorse for you to grab every resource that you already have, and after a week or 2, if you find yourself really sticking to it, then that's the time to buy and invest more into the gear and equipment that you would need. That is why I still use my running shoes for my workout, although a lot of these experts would give you different tips on, oh, you should not wear that, you should wear this instead. But that's the best thing about jump rope. It's not supposed to be complicated. There is no exclusivity, and you can use whatever workout wear that you have, and later on, if you figure that it's something that you can really do all the time for a year or so, then it's maybe worth investing in a shoe. If you're purchasing shoes specifically for jump rope, these are the pointers that will guide you into knowing what to purchase. So first would be the padding. It must be comfortable. It must provide the perfect amount of padding for your foot so that it supports your entire body weight. I am using A6 Nimbus because I have a high arched foot. Yes, there are different shoe types for flat-footed foot and high arched feet. So you can ask your salesperson when you are trying out your shoes. Aside from the padding and the right size, the comfort, it is ideal if it is lightweight, and the soles of the foot must have proper grip so that you do not slip. Ideally, it must also support your ankle as well. was an otter. Oh shit. What the hell? There's gonna be more because otters run in. I thought it was a monitor lizard. It's an otter. But they usually run in packs, so I don't know where the others are. I did! It was on! Did
you get it?
Yeah, it caught me getting startled by it.
We'll check it out.
Yeah.
Enjoy your stay.
Now let's talk about the different types of jump ropes that are available in the market. I, for one, am just using this regular PVC rope. It is lightweight, it is affordable, and it has plastic handles. If you are new to jump rope or if you're just using it for basic bounce, this is more than enough. If you're like me who's just trying to be active and lose some fat along with it, regular PVC ropes is all that you would need. It is what I got started with, and to be frank, it is still what I use right now. There's also the second type of rope, which is a speed rope. It's usually with metal wires, and it would hurt your body if you skip intensely and you whip yourself. It's gonna hurt, but it is used for what it is called. It is for speed. The next type are beaded ropes, which are perfect for having tricks. I don't have it because I don't do much tricks anyway, but I have friends who do have it. It is meant to be tossed around because it is perfect for doing tricks. So if you're learning tricks, having a beaded rope would be perfect for you. I personally don't have one. Perhaps one of these days I would purchase one, but I don't usually do tricks. I just do the basic bounces and some footwork. Another type of rope that you can purchase are weighted ropes. This is a variation of the PVC rope, except the rope itself is heavier and sometimes the weight is in the handles itself. There are different weights available in the market, and this would be perfect if you're trying to build more muscles or train for endurance. So those are the types of ropes that you can look for. But aside from all these functions that I mentioned, one thing that I'm particular about is the handle. Some of these jump ropes have foam handles, and I don't like the texture whenever I'm jumping, and sometimes it doesn't feel right when you grip it. So those are the things that you have to try to see what you would enjoy using most. When you receive your rope, it's gonna be longer than what is ideal for your height. So how do you measure the proper length of your rope? You must step on it with one foot and put it underneath your armpits. The rope must end on your chest level or underneath your armpits while you're holding the handles like these. If you have a regular PVC rope like I do, you can tie it on the ends. Just make sure that it's equal and don't tie it in the middle because you're aiming for balance and you don't want to trip over the end of your rope. There are different ways of tying your rope. I'm going to show you later on. But if you have a weighted rope, you have to cut it according to your length. The bad side is you can't really make it longer once you realize that it's too short for your liking, so just cut it little by little. If you're having a beaded rope, you can just remove the beads to make sure that's the proper length for your height. And if you have a metal speed rope, you must also cut your jump rope as well. Let's be honest, maybe it has been a while since you touched your jump rope, and our natural instinct once we get right back into it is to jump as high as we could. But that is one of the common mistakes that we could do because the goal is to jump from 1 to 2 inches off the ground. I know in our head, maybe if we jump higher, the less we are to trip, but it's completely unnecessary unless you're doing double unders or certain tricks. So again, we have to jump only 1 to 2 inches off the ground because the goal is to jump as light as possible and as low as possible too. We have to think about jumping as light as a feather. Another mistake that I found myself doing when I started out is doing double bounce. It's jumping over the rope and having a slight bounce in between. To put it simply, double bounces means you jump, the rope is under your foot, and then you do a bounce again while the rope is over your head. And that is not the most ideal because the goal is to jump and have the rope under your foot every time you jump. These are double bounces. It's a waste of a lot of effort, and this is how you should be doing it instead. So every time I jump, the rope is under my foot. Double bounces. The right way. Oops. I tripped. All right, so jump rope is a complete body workout. Our entire body must be in sync. That is why I recommend for you to film yourself while you practice so that you would see exactly which form or which parts of your body are not the best to form as of yet. It's all about progress and it's not supposed to be complicated. Don't worry about it. Sometimes these things come to you naturally, but we have to practice for sure. And it's okay even if you don't get all of these right. After watching this video, you can practice and film yourself and watch this video again so you can target what mistakes to focus on. Filming yourself, I swear, is so underrated. Sometimes looking at the mirror, fine, you will notice some mistakes, but when you film yourself, you can rewind it and notice if there was something off with your form, you know? Now let's talk about our body form. This is mostly the main reason why you keep on tripping on your rope. So let's start with our head. I know it gets tempting to look down on our foot as we jump, but the most ideal is for us to fixate our eyesight on something that is within eye level, at least until you get your body rhythm. Because now I could just stare in space and close my eyes and I could jump and get in the rhythm. But for a beginner, what is most ideal is for you to practice fixating your sight on something that is within your eye level. Let's do 3 jumps. So ideally, that's how it's supposed to be done. Now for our upper body, a lot of us have the tendency to put our arms very wide like this, and it's swaying all over the place. So how do we fix that? Ideally, your elbows must be as close to your hips as possible, and it must only be your wrists that's doing the job. Our shoulders and our arms must not be swaying, same as our body must not be moving. So let me try it again for you. Elbows as close to our hips as possible, and our wrists doing the job. Good job. So this is how I usually hold my rope. A lot of experts prefer that I do it this way, but I find it too restrictive, maybe because I have huge arms or I'm busty, or maybe I'm just not used to it. But the idea is to keep your rope as long as possible, so the closer that it is to your body, the more rope that you would have to use. That is also why a lot of these jump rope enthusiasts use shorter rope, because it requires a lot of skill and experience for you to be able to maneuver a shorter rope than a longer one. When you're holding a jump rope like this, make sure that you're not gripping it too much, okay? Because sometimes we get so conscious about whether we're gonna trip, what number are we on, is this ever gonna be over? And then we tend to tense up and have that grip so tight. When you notice yourself doing that, just relax. Just relax. It's not supposed to be complicated, remember that. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, see? Elbows as close to your hips as possible. Your arms and your body must not be swaying, and it must be your wrists that's doing the work for you. Good job. Now let's talk about our core. The next thing that we must do is to activate our core. Now, how do we do that? Imagine this, a bully trying to punch your tummy. Can you feel your core tightening up? That's how it feels to activate your core, basically. So this is me just standing normally with my belly that I'm very proud of, and this is me activating my core. Again, me just standing normally, and this is me activating my core. When you activate your core, you tend not to sway so much because you're not supposed to sway when you're jumping. When you're jumping, especially when you're up in the air or you are already in the groove of it, the common mistakes is hunching, leaning way too forward, and leaning backward. This could be a habit that you could be having while you're already doing your sets. Again, do not hunch, do not lean forward, and do not lean backward. Just try to maintain your regular posture. I'm not really like a supermodel having the best of postures. This is how I normally stand, and that's how I normally jump as well, with my core activated, of course. Now let's talk about our knees. Again, maybe common sense tells you to bend it as much as possible to anticipate the impact, but you are not doing a squat. You must not also be as stiff as possible as well. You must just bend it ever so slightly to anticipate a 1 to 2 inches jump off the ground. Again, this all boils down by the idea that you're supposed to jump as high as possible when that's not the case. You're only supposed to anticipate a 1 to 2 inches jump off the ground. So having that in mind, plus thinking that you are just supposed to jump as light as a feather, you're just supposed to bend your knees ever so slightly. See? I'm not bending all the way doing a squat. I'm not also as stiff as possible. All right, the position of your foot. It's not supposed to be super near each other. I'm sorry, I'm running out of adjectives to describe this, but you're not supposed to have it way apart as well. Just imagine that you're standing as per normal, like you're on a queue and waiting for something. It's just probably at most just 1 foot apart. But depending if you have thigh gap. I don't have a thigh gap, so this is how I normally stand. You should relax. Okay, let's do it again. Everything that we've learned so far. Good job. Now let's talk about the common mistakes with your foot when you're up in the air. So what you have to look out for is to make sure that your foot don't pike. Whenever you're jumping, don't do butterfly kicks as well. Or make sure that you're not some sort of a cheerleader trying to get your cheer on. Every expert out there, every article that would teach you how to jump would tell you to land on the balls of your feet. And English is not my first language, so I was wondering, am I doing it wrong? What the heck is the balls of my foot? So let me tell you what it is. It is not tiptoeing because you're not supposed to land on the tips of your toes. You're not supposed to land on your ankle, and you're not supposed to land flat-footed. Balls of your foot is basically what's in between the arch of your foot and your toes. So that's how you're supposed to land. Again, don't land on your ankles, don't land on your toes, don't land flat-footed. You must be landing on the balls of your foot. All right, let's do it again. Now let's see how that works. It takes a lot of practice and getting used to for you to have the perfect form. It is a perfect mixture of what you're most comfortable in depending on your body type, depending on your skill set, depending on whether you're doing techniques or not. For me, as a lifestyle, I don't really do a lot of tricks. I just focus on basic jumps and or footwork because what I'm trying to focus on is just to get my body as active as possible. Focusing on fat loss and basic bounces is more than enough for you to lose that weight, lose that fat, or to train your endurance. Okay, now let's recap what we have discussed. You cannot sway your arms too much. Your elbows must be near your hips. Your wrists. Let us do an entire recap. You must gaze your eyes and fixate your eyes to anything that's on the same eye level. You must not sway your body or move your body too much. Your elbows must be as close to your hips. Your wrists must be doing the job. Your knees must be bent ever so slightly. Activate your core. Do not hunch, do not lean forward, do not lean backward. Your foot just 1 foot apart. Preferably, you must land on the balls of your feet, not on your toes, not on your ankles, and not flat-footed. You must only jump 1 to 2 inches off the ground and as light as a feather. Let's do it. Don't do double bounces. Make sure you jump every time the rope crosses over the bottoms of your feet. I know you're eager to learn different tricks, but the best way to learn it is to master the basic. And you have to do basic steps. It is just as effective. It's just not as lit or on fire like those experts who are doing different tricks, throwing the ropes around, but it does the job. So focus on that and master that. If you just trust your rhythm, trust your body, your hands, your foot, and your rope, have that soul connection with your entire body, you're not gonna trip over. Okay, your natural tendency to pike or to do butt kicks is what's gonna cause you to trip. So make sure that you are conscious of all of this improper forms. Let's do it one more time. Let's do 10 jumps. If you can't, it's okay, just start over again, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. When you watch experts, you see them doing tricks, doing it fast. Why can't I perform the same way? You have to remember that you are not on the same level and everyone was a beginner some point in time. So you have to be patient with yourself and start with the basics. I know sometimes we get frustrated, we get too eager, and then we watch this expert and you just grab your jump rope and you expect to have the same skill set as this person. That's not gonna happen. They also started the same way as you are starting now. And you have to be so patient with it that you have to start with something so basic like counting in your head. Trust me, it really helps because jumping is all about rhythm. Your hand and foot coordination must be in sync whenever you're jumping. There was a spider, oh my gosh. Another integral, important, pertinent part of this advice that I would have for you, especially if you're plus size like I am, or you feel like you are unfit. The most important thing in every workout, especially cardio, is regulating your breathing. I'm not sure how new you are to working out, but as a plus size woman, the reason why I'm able to do intense cardio, like I can run 3 to 10 kilometers or I can do 20 minutes worth of jump time, is because I have learned early on to regulate my heart rate and do proper breathing. I know it sounds like it's common sense, but a lot of these fitness experts are already fit, so they have difficulty putting themselves in our shoes, what it's like to be overweight and not knowing the basics. And trust me, if you learn the proper way of breathing when you are working out, you would see your performance increase significantly. So let's go back to basics together. What do I mean by regulating your heart rate? When we subject ourselves to intense activities, depending on our fitness level, our weight, our environment, we find ourselves gasping for air and our heart pumps faster. And it's usually when we are grasping for breath, we feel suffocated, we feel like we are overheating, that we would like to stop the workout. First is to be conscious of how your heart rate is going. Does it feel like I am being restricted? There's no oxygen in my body? Is my heart pumping too much? Do I feel suffocated? Those are the things that, honestly, that's the things that you will feel when you are running out of breath or you're pushing your body beyond the limits of the things that you are used to. One tip that I have when you're regulating your breathing is to try to breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. Even if you're hiking, jump roping, running, whatever, breathe through your nose. Second is, if you are really running out of your breath, you breathe through your nose and exhale through your mouth. The pacing of your breathing is also important. Why am I doing that without a smile on my face? Why am I so serious? Or sometimes I do it this way. Pacing of your breathing is extremely important as well. So you notice that the less air that we have in our body, the more we puff. But you can actually do the opposite and try to breathe slower so that your heart rate could go lower as well. So just think the opposite. Every time your heart rate is getting faster, try to breathe slower. Breathe through your nose and you can almost instantaneously feel that you have enough oxygen in your air and you feel relaxed. If you catch yourself breathing through your mouth, you will be puffing and puffing. You just have to get it together and breathe through your nose all throughout again. So you have to think the opposite. The faster your heart is pumping, the slower you should breathe. If there's any tip that would really stick by you today, it is just the breathing. Regulate your heart rate and try to regulate your breathing as well. The pacing of your breathing. Breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. And whenever you feel like you are suffocating, you couldn't do it, you want to stop, try to regulate it again and keep your heart rate low or regular as usual. So once you master your breathing, you will find yourself jumping longer, running longer, performing better, because it's all about your breathing. Well, almost all about it. If you are here because you watch my jump rope videos, you would know that I started training with jump rope with an interval of 20 minutes, which is not advisable for any beginner. If you're a beginner, or even if you know how to jump rope, depending on your fitness level, I suggest starting jumping for just 5 minutes per day, at least for 3-4 days, until your muscles are again used to it before you start. Because in my experience, my calves are always sore and it's not a pleasurable experience the day after. So it's nice to ease your way in. In that regard, it's also important to do your stretching before you do this workout. It was surprising to me to learn that there are research that say that static poses or static stretches are not really good for cardio or for your endurance or performance in sports. So in that regard, it is better to do stretching that would only last 1 to 3 seconds so that you can at least stretch your muscles. If you want to know more about the stretches that I do, I have a video that I will link up here and down below so that you can click on that. It is my post-workout routine, but I honestly do that before I do any jump rope. So it doesn't have to be intense. All you have to do is make sure that your muscles are not tight, especially your arms, your hips, your calves, and your ankles. So long story short, that's the stretches that you have to focus on. Okay, I don't know how fit you are, but I personally have sore muscles every time I do jump rope. So what to do when your muscles are sore after you do the workout? Again, you can do a lot of these stretches. You can have your hamstring stretch. You can get a tennis ball and roll it under the balls of your feet or the arch of your foot so that it can stretch that part of your body, because that could be sore. And for your calves and for your quads and for your thighs, you can use a foam roller as well. That has been very helpful because it was late till I discovered that part. I noticed that the outdoor parks here in Singapore had rollers built in, and once I discovered it, like, oh my god, it was heaven sent. I swear, it really lessens the soreness the next day. Oh, it's heaven sent. Also, I would like to add that even if you choose to rest the next day, it is important to have active rest day. Try to use the same set of muscles with less intense workout, just by walking or stretching, just to keep your body active. What are the common injuries that you have to look out for? It is important for us to listen to our bodies, and if a certain group of muscles hurt, it could be because those muscles are underdeveloped, you overpushed it, overstrained it, or you're having an injury. So these are the things that you have to look out for. These are the common injuries that you may have or you may hear associated with jump roping. So the common injuries would be shin splints, knee pain. For me, it's my calves, so you can strain your calves and you can also strain your ankles. So these are the common injuries. If you're jumping and you find your shoulders aching and your upper body aching, it means your form is not the proper form. Or it could also be because you're wearing too tight of a sports bra, like I usually do.
Alright, that is it for today, girls. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and working out with me. I hope you have also worked out a sweat. And please comment down below if you have successfully skipped over your rope this time around after watching this video. If it hasn't helped you in any way, don't worry. Just keep on practicing and watching this video all together. Don't forget that it takes practice. Don't be frustrated with your journey. Progress is progress regardless. So if it has helped you or motivated you or inspired you in any way, please give this video a like so that it will help my channel grow. Share it with your friends. Comment down below what your experience is. And subscribe if you haven't already. I hope to see you on my next one. Kisses! That is it. Oh god, it's so hot. I'm tearing up because it's so freaking hot. The things I do for you. Okay, I'm not really in the mood to film this because this is the second time I'm filming it. And the first one didn't have any audio. Mercury retrograde is... Oh my god, I just ruined my tripod. I'm gonna give up because my microphone just keeps shutting off and I don't know why. I don't know why. So, I'm not even sure what was recorded. Oh, this is so... Mercury retrograde is just out to get me. There's so many cute guys, by the way. I'm single. Send me a DM. And this one in particular is cute. Anywho. Wow, I'm so shy. That sounds cute.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the f are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I can do. Cause